A new method's being used by human smugglers. It's July 16th, 2024, in these year headlines. Sabinal Police Chief Jesus Reyes says human smugglers are using a new strategy to avoid detection using stolen license plates of similar vehicles. The plates are often removed from residents' cars that match vehicles used in smuggling efforts in the town of Sabinal, located in Uvalde County, right in South Texas. When a smuggler drives to the border from a major city such as Houston or Austin, locally swapped stolen license plates mitigate suspicions. While multiple individuals from Sabinal have reported that their license plates were stolen, Chief Reyes says the problem might be much bigger. According to Reyes, smugglers search for generic vehicles such as white Ford trucks and swap the license plates so they'll appear nearly identical and match if law enforcement runs the plate. This comes, of course, as Texas is continuing its efforts to thwart human smuggling operations. For example, earlier this month, U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of Texas announced that 4 individuals were sentenced for harboring illegal aliens in a stash house. New documents obtained by the Dallas Express show that the city of Dallas's interim manager used taxpayer dollars to travel to a liberal leftist event. Interim city manager Kimberly Tolbert spent $3,000 of Dallas taxpayer money for a 4-day trip to the National Forum of Black Public Administrators back in April. Tolbert was the city's deputy manager at the time. She was appointed in February to temporarily replace outgoing city manager T.C. Broadnax and officially took over the interim position on May 2nd. According to the organization's website, they are the principal and most progressive organization dedicated to the advancement of Black public leadership in local and state governments. Despite the organization touting itself as an independent, nonpartisan 501c3 nonprofit, it highlights its left-leaning political stances. Documents show that Tolbert's travel costs for the event amounted to nearly $1,500 for a 4-night stay at the Baltimore Marriott waterfront, $800 for registration, another $350 for airfare, and $250 for per diem. This trip brought the total cost of her travel to $13,000 since October of 2023.
The Luke Macias Show is your access to what happens behind closed doors in Texas politics. Listen weekly to me, your host, Luke Macias, as I break down what is actually happening in conservative politics in the Lone Star State, a state that we all love and cherish. Listen weekly wherever you listen to podcasts. This show is a product of Texas Scorecard.
With the next legislative session on the horizon next January, the Huffines Liberty Foundation is highlighting how lawmakers can provide permanent property tax relief to citizens. The Huffines Liberty Foundation is a 501c3 nonpartisan research institute whose stated purpose is to advance the cause of liberty, prosperity, and virtue in the state of Texas by educating citizens so that they can hold their elected officials accountable. And it's led by its namesake, Don Huffines, a former state senator. Well, they've released its latest Q&A fact sheet talking about eliminating school M&O, maintenance and operation, property taxes, saying it's the only path to guarantee permanent property tax cuts. Texas politicians have promised property tax relief 3 times in the last 5 years, seems like just about every session, and they failed each time, according to the organization. Even after the largest property tax cut in history, many citizens found their property taxes increased. And even those who did receive some relief will see their property taxes increase this year. According to the organization, the reason for this is twofold. First, they say the state does not rely enough on compression to lower taxes. Secondly, the state does not do anything to stop schools and governments from continuing to raise property taxes. Now, compression is when the state sends additional educational funding to schools using state tax dollars while requiring schools to lower their property tax rates. Sometimes you hear it called buying down the rate. Huffines Liberty Foundation argues that compression is better than increasing the homestead exemption because it increases the property tax burden for non-homestead properties. Additionally, appraisal increases eventually erase any savings. Thus, Huffines Liberty Foundation maintains that the only way to achieve long-term property tax cuts is by eliminating school M&O property taxes by gradually reducing the property tax rate to $0 over several years using excess state surplus revenue. For more of today's stories, go to TexasScorecard.com.